Welcome to Beyond the OR with Dr. Kevin Brenner. I'm a board-certified plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills. I want to take you beyond my world of plastic surgery, diving deep into exciting hot topics and delving even deeper into compelling characters that I've met along the way. We'll be talking with attorneys, actors, comedy writers, Navy SEALs, and many other fascinating and inspiring people with truly intriguing stories to share. So let's jump right in. Hey guys, today on Beyond the OR, we are very, very lucky to have Troy Jensen with us. He is an iconic photographer, makeup artist, entrepreneur. He really has an unparalleled eye for beauty and a very unique take on both photography and makeup. So let's welcome Troy. Welcome.
Welcome,
Thanks
Troy.
For coming on.
Good to meet you. Thank you for
Good to
having me.
meet you too. So.
I thought I was here for a consultation, you know.
Oh, no, that doesn't, that's in a half an hour we start that.
Here for
You
my
don't need
BBL.
anything, you look great. What are you talking about?
Not bad for an old dude, right?
Old dude. I'm the old dude. You know,
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk.
So yeah, we Elizabeth and I were talking about who are we having on, and you know, the truth is that everyone that we have on this show, everyone that I'd like to have on the show, is in some way, shape, or fashion sort of taps into something that really intrigues me. Like everyone that asks me about this is like, oh, you're doing a podcast about plastic surgery? I'm like, no, it's not about plastic surgery at all. I'm so tired of talking about plastic surgery. I want to know about stuff that interests me. And so you certainly fall in that category, and I know everyone's thinking, okay, Brenner really likes to do makeup in his spare time. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about photography. When I was in high school, I was like an avid photographer, darkroom, developing stuff.
Do you still shoot?
No, because I don't. Well, the only thing I shoot is my patients for before and
Right.
after photos. I don't have the time.
Which you don't even do.
I
Which I don't even-
do a little bit of that
I don't
too
even-
with my patients.
No, but I miss it terribly, but I miss like shooting film and developing film and
Nobody
digital
has the
photography.
patience for that anymore. I mean, I do that on my creative projects, but
Right, no, it's
everybody
time
wants
consuming. But for me,
turn
it
the
was
film
like,
in now.
For me,
Yeah.
it was like a way to sort of decompress
Yeah.
and just like unplug
You should
from
do it
everything
again.
else.
Pick it up.
Yeah,
Never
shit.
too late.
But digital photography is so different now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a completely different animal to what it was back in the 80s.
Yeah, you know, when I started shooting, I kept it on the DL because I was working with some of the top photographers, and it wasn't cool if they got wind of you shooting. You know, you're stealing their lighting tricks or something. You know, so I was at this job, and they would have me come in, and I would literally set up the lights, set up the concepts, and then the photographer would get the credit. You know, it was as if he was the mastermind behind it. And one time I got into like an argument with them about something, and they said, if you think you can do it, better get a camera and do it yourself. And it was just like that aha moment, like, yeah, I'm gonna do it myself. And so I went out, got all my equipment, and then I needed a model. So I called Tyra Banks.
Oh, just a little
Yeah.
How
model.
do you know Tyra?
I've known her actually since she was like 16, just doing her
that's
makeup
funny.
for different things and modeling and
I
stuff.
did her show years ago, like I
Yeah?
flew to New York. It was
She's lovely.
Long story. No, she
She's
was
amazing.
lovely.
So I called her because I needed a model, you know.
Well, that's perfect.
Yeah, and so she came over my house. I did her makeup. We did this shoot. First time picking up a camera, doing it. Shot film, not digital. Turned the film in. Everything came out horrible. Like the exposures were off. Everything was messed up. So I called her and I said, I messed up the film. Will you come back and do it again with me? She's like, sure, Troy, no problem. So she comes back, I got it right, the pictures came out great, and like years later, she had me on America's Next Top Model doing the gallery shoot, the makeovers, the whole thing, and she told this story and showed the pictures. It was kind of like, wow, this is like
She showed
that
the-
full
the-
circle
the good
kind of
pictures
moment.
or the ones
The
that
good
didn't come
pictures,
out
the good
well?
pictures. I have the bad ones,
You're like,
actually.
these
I
are
found them
totally
recently.
overexposed.
Yeah, I found this box of old pictures, her pictures, one of them, of these old Polaroids and stuff. And a friend of mine said, you need to turn them into NFTs because they're like literally
What a great idea.
4 decades of my career all in like little pictures. So I'm thinking of doing something with them.
That's
I
cool.
love
That's
that.
a cool idea.
Well, I mean, Tyra Banks is the tip of the iceberg. Like, you've worked with J-Lo, you've worked with
Gwyneth
Paltrow, Elle McPherson, the list
Elle
goes.
McPherson.
Elle McPherson. Thank you
You gotta get all the syllables.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm doing interviews and people bring up like the people that I've done, the ones that when I look back at my career that I'm most proud of is I did Diana Ross. I did Catherine Deneuve, Jacqueline Smith, Farrah Fawcett. You know, like these iconic women that I said something about Farrah and they're like, who's Farrah? Who? Like Charlie's Angels? Like who? I'm like,
what's Charlie's Angels?
Like Charlie's Angels.
This generation, the younger generation, if they're not on a reality TV show or on the CW, they don't know them, but. Those are the moments that I'm like, that are golden memories for me,
Yeah, no, I mean.
To have met those women, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, not only met, but you were like one of Farrah Fawcett's best friends.
Yeah. I wouldn't call her a best friend. She was more of like a mother figure to me.
Right.
Because I met her really young. Like literally, she was one of the first people I met. I left home at an early age. She knows my story.
So tell us that story.
I left home at 15 to pursue from Orange County. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I grew up in a family. I love my family. They're great. But at the time, it was just not okay to be gay. It wasn't okay to be an artist. It wasn't okay to be me, basically. So I was like, packed my bags. I was like, it's time to go. So I hitchhiked from Huntington Beach to Beverly Hills.
I love the story.
And and the only street I knew in LA was Rodeo Drive.
You hitchhiked to Rodeo?
I hitchhiked to Rodeo Drive, and they dropped me off on Wilshire and Rodeo Drive. And the rest is history. Yeah, the rest is history. But, Farrah was one of the first people I met, and she was, I would get a cover of a magazine a few years later, and I would have a phone call. I saw your cover, and I'm so proud of you, and blah, blah, blah. Like, she was amazing. She was amazing. I miss her so much. She was such a great lady.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you have all those little Farrah Barbie doll.
Somebody gave me a fishbowl full of Farrah doll heads, and it's like kind of like a creepy art piece that I have.
Oh, but I love it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Do you have like a tribute to Farrah in your house?
Yeah. Not in my house. It's in the closet now. It's just put away, but I bring it out to freak people out once in a while.
So when did you know that this is what you want to do? I mean, here you are at 15, right? Hitchhiking.
Yeah.
And you're on Rodeo Drive. I mean, this is life full circle, Troy. I mean, think about it. Your vision.
What's funny is that I never wanted to be a makeup artist.
Wow.
I wanted to be a rock star. I wanted to be a performer. I wanted to be an artist.
Can you sing?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do my musical number in a minute. But I never wanted to be a makeup artist. It wasn't until years later that when I was actually in it and doing it, and I was working alongside people with agencies, and I would find out how much they're making. I was like, I'm making the same. I'm the same as you. I'm just as talented. Because I was freelance forever. I didn't have an agent. Did my own deals, and I was working with everyone. There was a time I was probably the most sought after. One of the most sought after in the country. Now I'm like, there's many more makeup artists. I'm kind of like irrelevant when it comes to makeup artists now. But there was a time this makeup artist said to me one time, says, Troy, I used to hate you because any job that came up, you'd get it. And I'd be like, I'm sorry.
And how was that?
I didn't, looking back, I wish that I was a little more appreciative of the career that I had. Because I didn't really try to get that career, and I had it at that level.
And so,
it's all on Google. You'll have to Google me sometime. It's all online. But to look at it and to really, I didn't appreciate it. I just didn't. I look back and I just wish that I had been more present with myself and my career. I wasn't really that well behaved. I said I shot my mouth off, if I felt disrespected. Nowadays, it's like the new generation of makeup artists are much more professional. And I was like, I'm an artist and I need to express myself. And the client would I want to look like this. No, we're not doing that. Sit down. We're going to do this.
And you're going to look damn good.
Now it's like, what would you like, ma'am? How do you want to look today?
But you probably know better, so.
Of course I knew better. Right. I'm never wrong. But that's not the point. Now, back then I would never dream of behaving the way that I behaved, and
So what do you like better? Doing makeup or
I really
photography?
like doing both, because I've tried to play well with others, and it's just either, when I do a shoot, and let's say it's a big production, I'm getting ready to do one, and I just decided I'm just going to do it all, because when I do a shoot, I can do she knows, I can do 10, 18 looks a day. You hire a team, 4. He
does
takes forever.
everything.
It just takes forever.
So
The hair takes forever.
You'll do the makeup on your
I'll do the
own
makeup,
shoots
the
now.
hair. I do good nail. I do the catering.
He does well. He's very
Everything.
type A,
Yeah.
and a perfectionist.
When's your
So-
birthday?
October 6th.
He's a Libra.
Oh, you're a Libra.
Yeah.
So everything.
Like
I'm a
Tex-
Virgo,
Tex-
so I'm like
yeah.
super OCD.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I'm
so
a little
is
that
he.
too.
He controls everything. But I got to tell you, at my sickest, which our viewers don't know, which I had acute pancreatitis and I was in and out of the hospital. Troy shot me, and they're the best pictures I've ever taken in my life when I was super ill, like really sick. And those pictures,
They're beautiful pictures,
they're
yeah.
gorgeous. Like the lighting is impeccable. I mean, you've commented on every time I post one of the pictures that Troy's done. You're like, oh, I like this picture.
That was you?
That's the miracle of Troy.
No, I've seen that shoot.
So
It's good.
yeah, he's
fun.
amazing. So you don't do just celebrities. You also
I do a lot of professionals. A lot of my career now is when I transitioned from makeup to photography. I was thrown into photography because I met Kim Kardashian, and I did her makeup, and then I shot her pictures, and they would go. This was the beginning of the Instagram, so it would go everything. It would just become this big, huge thing, and it literally ended my makeup career. Like it was just like, okay, I've got to be a photographer now,
Just
So I
because
really.
you were getting too many inquiries for.
I was just getting I got too much exposure with her. So it wasn't like I could just go back to that life of being hired by the people who were hiring me. It was just like done. It was dead. And I did her show a couple of times, and they're lovely. Never had a problem with them. They're sweet, kind, sweet, really fun to work with. They really get into creating looks, and that was really fun. She was like my little Barbie doll for a while. But being on the show and that kind of exposure, I had some major anxiety. I was getting stalkers, and I was getting followed, and I was getting I'd be at the grocery store, and I would get a Twitter alert following Troy Jensen down the aisle at Ralph's. And
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I was like,
Scary.
okay, I didn't sign up for this. This is kind of creepy.
You need to
and
hire
I
a
had,
bodyguard.
And then I did need a bodyguard, yeah. And I had some psycho people that I had to deal with during that time. And then I just kind of had to really regroup. And looking back, I'm glad that what happened, because I feel like I've always was meant to kind of do this sort of one-stop shop thing. I think I've always brought it, but I didn't do it. I always brought the ideas and the creativity and the vision, but now I get to do it the way I want to do it, and it's really nice. So with that, I do a lot of editorial work again. I do stuff with beauty brands. I do stuff with professionals. I do stuff with
magazines.
aspiring models, singers,
Do you
anyone
do-
who needs an image.
Do you do photography beyond fashion?
Doctors. I do a lot of doctors, actually.
Okay, well we got our next photo shoot.
lot of
Let's-
There you go.
We need. To
I don't know what it is with me and doctors. I have a lot of doctors in my life. A lot of that one
That could
image
either
and,
be
yeah.
a really good thing or a really
no,
bad thing.
Right. I love working with professionals. It's the diversity of my clientele is what I think is the most satisfying. If I had to do just kind of one thing, most makeup artists now have their one client and they do everything with that client. And I'm sure it's great, but I could never. I think that would be very tough for me to just have one client, to just be doing one thing, all the time.
Do you ever do events, or is that
I am getting
dreaded?
ready to do one, actually a master class, or what do you call it, a workshop in Prague. So it'll be my first, and I've done keynote speaking kind of stuff,
Yeah.
but I've never done a master class. I always
Have you shot events though? Do you shoot events, or is it
have
more
I once in a while I do a
fashion?
wedding, a celebrity wedding, or I've done. I used to go to. I used to do a lot of the Saudi princesses,
That's not so bad.
Yeah, that was fun. That was good money.
Yeah, a lot of photographers I know that do like weddings, bat mitzvahs.
Yeah, I know.
It's like a whole different.
It's a whole it's a whole different thing. You know, a lot of times too, people want to hire me for like their social media content. I'm like, no, not that. That's not me.
But people can hire you to
People
create
can,
a
yeah.
brand
Right.
and an image for them,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So they can, you
Exactly.
do consulting.
I do, yeah.
So you consult.
Oh.
What
Yeah.
is? Take us through that process if somebody hires you for consulting and brand imaging.
You know, I have a client right now. She's a CEO of a company, and she developed this amazing brand. She's a scientist. Her name's Barbara Paltis. Her brand is called Codex Beauty Labs. It's a skincare company, and she's one of those entrepreneurs or business people that really spent the investment to develop a real green product, not just greenwashing, but she developed a healthy plant-based preservatives and a biodegradable plastic made out of sugarcane.
Wow.
It's incredible.
That's
And
so
to hear her
cool.
talk,
That's
it's just, you know, it's so interesting, but we're in that world, in the beauty world, it's very, you know, light, medium, dark, 1, 2, 3, you know, people, it doesn't kind of register. It kind of goes over people's head if you kind of give them too much information. So together with her, I was showing her kind of things that I do with the brand, with how I use her products with makeup and stuff like that. So we decided to team up, and so we're going to be doing a YouTube show together and some stuff on stage. And then that led to, you know, I need to do my pictures. You know, I need new pictures. So I sent her to my hairdresser. We got her hair, kind of like yours, got it. Her hair was dark, so got some highlights, and we did this new picture. Nothing too transformative, but just really simple, great, beautiful portraiture. And we sent them into the company, and it just kind of like really propelled her to the forefront of her brand, you know, because they would hire influencers, they would hire other people to kind of give the message of the brand, and here she has all this information, and sometimes just a little tweak of the image can make the biggest difference, you know?
Well, even like, because you don't just makeup and photography, but you also help with like stylizing. Like you did
Yeah.
that with me. You went
Yeah.
and you got stuff.
Yeah.
You got clothes
Yeah.
that you know that
You know,
this
that
person.
all started with just, you know, I love beauty, and I love working with women, and I love, I know how to make a woman look their best. And sometimes if you're working from someone who doesn't have their image together, and you give it to someone else, they have an idea of how they should dress you. And this person has an idea. And it's important to me to say, this is how I want to shape her, this is how I want the hair, this is how I want the... And once I do it, then it gives anybody else who's going to come in, okay, I see what works, you know? But it's important that I do everything that first, that consultation, that first meeting, to get it right, and, you know, and then
knock it out of the park.
Yeah. And you know, it's not even about designers, it's not about brands or anything like that, it's just finding what works for that person. And it's kind of weird, it's very sort of intuitive, it's not...
It is, because
Yeah.
it has to go with their personality,
Yeah.
because you can't put somebody in something where they're going to feel uncomfortable, because I'm
Yeah.
sure that shows. So you have this art too of just not visually,
Yeah.
but you have intuitively, you know how to work with that person so that they are comfortable in maybe something that they wouldn't feel comfortable, or they would even pick for themselves, and
Yeah.
and you have that ability to connect on a level, personal level, of what's going to look great and also make them feel like, oh, I would have
Yeah.
never, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it always fascinates me when I consider you an artist, right?
Yeah.
So does he.
Photographer. No, I mean, like, you know,
Right.
I don't really make a distinction between
I consider
someone
myself
painting-
kind of a doctor and an artist. Kind of like, you know.
between like painting on a canvas or singing a song or playing an instrument, like it's
Right.
all like super creative, and I'm like I'm like a struggling, you know, musician, and by struggling I mean I have no musical ability other than like music knowledge, but I'm always like in awe of like how creative some people can be,
Yeah.
like, and how you can constantly be reinventing new stuff. Like, I mean, how do you know, there's only so much fashion, yet it's always changing, and there's always so much makeup, yet it's always changing, and there's always new music. Like, how do you, when you have 40 years of music catalog, come up with a brand new song that's unique and interesting and memorable?
Well, I rarely take inspiration from anything that's going on now. I'll take inspiration from photographers from the past, movies from the past. Very rarely will I send someone a picture of, as beautiful as she is, Jennifer Lopez or Kim. I will send them pictures of like Sophia Loren or Verna Lisi or
classic beauties
or Audrey Hepburn. I feel like everything in beauty's been done. I'd rather go to the original source of where that trend or that image started, rather than kind of like,
ooh,
yeah.
Yeah, but you're still tweaking it, right?
And then I tweak it. I make it. I mean, I remember when we shot. I'm sure I sent you a ton of like references.
Right.
Here's what what
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do. I don't remember what they were, but I'll pull a lot of pictures.
Mickey Mouse Club.
And when I have a big shoot, it's like I don't get any sleep because I'll literally stay up and just go through like photos and books and stuff like that.
Because you get into zone.
Yeah, I get
like,
into this.
I had to say, okay, Trey, I can't do anymore. It's 12 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
and he's like, you sure? And like, one more look, and I'm like, I can't.
Right.
But they were gorgeous.
It's exhausting when you're doing. It doesn't seem like you're doing anything when someone's taking pictures of you.
Oh.
Like, I just redid my headshots for my website and stuff, and it's just like, you're like, how many times can you like generate a smile or a look or whatever, right?
But he also,
enough already.
But Troy is so well-rounded that a lot of photographers don't show you or don't.
Yeah, they don't direct.
They don't direct.
It's crazy to me when I do
and
when I do
and
work.
so you're standing the same
You gotta
way,
be
and you're
able
like,
You have
yeah.
to be able
Yeah.
to elicit it. Out of
And you know what?
someone,
There is a photographer I used to work with, two actually, Matthew Ralston and Robert Erdman, and the way that they used to really sort of, from the emotion to the posing. I mean, they just knew how to make someone. They knew the right poses and the lighting and stuff like that. I learned so much from them. So I don't just get behind the camera after I do the makeup and go, okay, do your thing. Like she'll be my little Barbie. I'll pose her and turn her head, and this is the angle. Here's what the lighting, and here's the emotion. This is what I want you to, exude.
There's movement to your photos.
Yeah.
But there's so much nuance in trying to elicit.
And a wind machine does wonders.
That's the secret.
You can have the most boring subject, but put a wind machine on, and it's like, wow.
We should consider that for the next show.
Hey, I had a wind machine. That's why you like all my photos too.
Yeah.
No, but there's a lot of nuance to like getting that, eliciting that from someone. I mean, I've worked with a lot of photographers for various things, family shoots and stuff like that, and some are like average, and some just know how to elicit a shot. And as a photographer myself, like I've always said, like the really good photographers have an eye.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Isn't that?
And it's
Everyone,
challenging
you have
when
an eye,
I.
you know how to.
Yeah.
You can frame it without even
yeah.
holding your camera. You know
Yeah.
what the picture is going to look like. But
Yeah.
there's more. You have to have that. That's like
Yeah.
a requisite. But you have to have more than that.
Yeah, I have a client I just started working with, and I met her on a photo shoot where I was just doing makeup. The hairdresser is a friend of mine, says, her makeup artist moved away, and she needs a makeup artist. Do you want to do it? I said, sure. So I showed up, did it, and I was just like, the whole time, the lighting was just wrong, and everything, the way that what they were doing with her was just wrong. I just wanted to just like jump in, and I was just like, stop. You're not here to do that. You're here to do makeup. That's what you're here to do. Back the fuck down.
You can't control this one.
So did you call? What you call afterwards? You're like, let's read.
Well, now she doesn't work with anyone but
me
me.
in the back.
She doesn't shoot with anyone but me.
We're gonna
she
reshoot
she
everything.
sees the difference. She's like, you're not going anywhere.
That's
So,
amazing.
Troy, this is a new generation, a new world, right? And everything's on social media. How do you feel about all these people that really don't have the experience, don't have the qualifications, or that are doing makeup tutorials and photography? Like, how has that, do you think, or do you even think it has impacted or changed, your world?
Yeah. You know, I would say like maybe like 10, 12 years ago, when kind of that whole trend of influencers and beauty brands started to not hire makeup artists, hiring influencers, these girls that basically do their makeup to their laptops, and I was bullied, and here, buy my makeup palette, I was really bitter and really angry about it. Really, really pissed me off, because I said, if you want to learn makeup, you want to learn it from her, this young girl, or do you want to learn from a professional? And I understood, that it's about relatability, and that people respond to different things. People respond to me as a certain way. They probably look at me and say, I could never get Troy, or I'll never look like that, but yet I can look like her, right, and I could do that, so I get it. But I think it's changing. That's changing now, I see big brands hiring even obscure makeup artists as like their spokespersons, and I'm starting to get more into the on camera as a professional in beauty, which it's not my natural. I don't love being on camera, it's not my thing, I don't mind it once in a while. But just recently I did this tutorial.
Are we gonna have to blur out his
You're gonna
face
have to like I need like clean up everything. Clean up on aisle Troy. And I did this whole tutorial, and the makeup, the steps were great, and then I'm looking at back at the film, and all my hands had marks from my dog bites from my puppy, and I had big, huge scratches and scabs. I'm like, why didn't I see that? On a model, I would have known to make up my the hands. So the whole thing, I couldn't use it because it was like literally looked like I put my hand through a meat grinder. So
you can't operate on yourself.
You can't, no. Right. So now I have to. Your brain has to change. Adjust to, you're not just behind the scenes. If you're on camera, you got to look at things like your hands, make sure your nails are done, and make sure you don't have dog bites all over your hands.
I have bruising on my hand right now. I should have covered it up with makeup, but
I'm okay.
But I think, Troy, you are such not just an icon, but you're just so fucking amazing at what you do that you have to be in front of the camera. I feel like times are changing, right? And even like we had Craig and that came in and he's had to he's like, I'm doing TikToks,
Right.
but I'm doing it relevant to my age.
Yeah.
Not trying to be a 20-something.
That I haven't been able to master yet.
Yeah.
My manager wants me to do TikToks so bad. And
he's had to bite the bullet.
Yes.
I mean,
I'm one of those that's like, get me when I'm not like trying to be cute or funny, then I'm funny. I'm really funny with my clients. But get me when I'm not thinking about it. When I'm trying to think about it, I don't feel like it. I'm not a natural.
But I think it's practice.
It's an adjustment because I mean, when I went into practice, which was in 2006, it was like, the kind of standard of care was you have to have a website. That was about the extent of it,
right.
I was like, okay, and I thought it was such a big deal to create for de novo a website, and it was like when you're brand new in practice.
Yeah, like I got a website.
And I've had 5 permutations of my website.
Yeah.
But then it was, you got to be on Facebook, and then you got to have a YouTube channel, and then it was Instagram and TikTok, and then at one point in your life, someone will walk up and say, you got to have your own podcast.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, no, I don't.
That was me.
Oh, sorry. and it's just like, it's just an adjustment. It's like so like not in my wheelhouse to do any of that. And probably not in your
I think
wheelhouse.
Podcasts are different because it's kind of like your own thing, where social media, there's definitely, you got to kind of play that game or feed that machine.
If you want it to be,
if you want it to grow and
viral,
you want to get on
right?
the algorithms and
which
stuff.
I'm not willing to kind of like get down to that level, but
But you have a resume behind you too, and
I try. I don't post a lot of throwbacks as much anymore. I try to stay pretty much current, but I also give myself the okay to get off of social media, because for me, social media has nothing to do with my creative process. I don't get inspired by social media. I don't get inspired by what I see on social media. I look at that almost as like, that's what I don't want to do. I want to do something fresh or something new. So my process is, it's a little bit deeper. I have like a great library of books and watch movies rather than go on social media. So, and I don't feel like I have to post every single day, where I used to have that pressure of like, I have to keep doing it. Like, no, you post what you want to post, and post when you have something great to post, and
I don't consider it like as an outlet for expression, at least for me.
Right.
But what I figured out is that, and it's taken me a long time to come to this, probably took me too long, people want to hear from you. They want to hear from me.
Right.
You're an expert at what you do. I'm an expert at what I do. They want, it's like, it's about being kind of relatable to your patients. And I mean, it's especially as a surgeon, it's not part of your psyche training. You're just like, this is what I do. I've been doing training for 15 years to do this. I've been in practice for another 15 years. This is what I do.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to get to the.
I love to watch surgery videos and stuff.
Oh my
so
God,
amazing.
I can't.
We'll have to have you come in the operating room.
I love all that stuff to watch, like that. And I consult a lot of my clients with doctors and stuff. Like when they'll come to me, like, can you refer a surgeon for this or whatever? And I feel like I would have been a good surgeon, but
probably. I mean,
I feel like
you certainly have the eye for it.
Yeah.
I mean, at least.
Yeah.
I don't think that all surgery you have to have an eye for. You have to have good spatial relationship, but you clearly have an aesthetic eye, much like I have an aesthetic eye.
Yeah.
Which leads me to what we were talking about before.
No, but I really get into watching doctors, and especially plastic surgeons. I love it.
Oh my God, I pass out if I see somebody draw blood.
Yeah.
I'm like, down for the count.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to watch people extract, like dermatologists, they love to do.
No, I don't like watching that.
I don't want to watch
And I don't
it.
like the botch stuff. I like that when, now that like there's that new technique of faceless where it doesn't look so pulled, that blows me away, these women that just look so amazing.
Yeah, I'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you guys are similar, and I'd like to hear from the both of you. Like, when you, Dr. Brenner, meet somebody, right, or you, Troy, meet a woman, don't you feel like they are, like that you're judging the way they look?
Oh yeah, all the time. Whenever I meet someone for the first time and they know that I do makeup, they're like, oh, you're looking at my makeup, aren't you?
My eyebrows.
But you're not,
Yeah.
or maybe
And
you
I'm
are,
like,
or maybe you are, but you don't want to admit it.
You know what? Honestly, it's. I don't look at women in a critical way or a judgmental in a negative way. I look at them. This is a really funny story. One time, I was doing a makeover show on Lisa Gibbons' show.
Right.
And they had Tammy Faye Baker on, and they wanted me to do. They wanted me to do a make under, like someone who has tons of makeup on and make them down, like
wipes?
right, make them more natural or whatever. And I'm like, why? The fact that she wakes up in the morning and does that to her face is kind of brilliant. You should have her on and have her do the makeovers with her vision. And they did it. And she made over 5 women, including Lisa. It was amazing.
And they looked ridiculous.
I mean, they all look like Texas hookers, but it was awesome. It was awesome because, like, who am I to tell you what's right and wrong? I can only say, I have a vision. I have a vision for you. If I have a vision for you, I have a vision for whoever. But it's not because I need to fix. I don't think of myself as a fixer. I don't like the idea of makeovers because I don't like to generalize my work. If I did a smoky eye and a beige lip on Elizabeth, okay, and then I did a smoky eye and a beige lip on you,
amazing.
my brushes would be different, my colors would be different, my approach to the face would be different. So to generalize my work, I have a hard time with that.
I've never had a smoky eye with a beige lip.
Well, I see it. I see it.
No, but people, like, if someone knows who you are, or as soon as you tell them who you are, the questions start.
Right.
You're like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh. It's like.
Does that happen to you?
What would you do, doctor, here?
All the time.
What are some of the questions?
I was on my honeymoon in Hualalai in the swimming pool. with my wife and met some people in the swimming pool, and this girl literally jumped up on the side and like almost took off her bathing suit
to show you her boobs?
To show me her breasts. And I'm like,
what would you do? I'm sure your wife
I actually get those
appreciated
too.
that.
I can always tell when my episodes of Keeping Up with the Kardashians come, because I'll get like 200 emails from women, and sometimes I'll get like pictures of like them topless. Like, do you take all sorts of payment? Wink, wink.
You're like,
Yeah. I'm sure you get those too.
no comment. This is supposed to be a PG-13 show.
I'll do anything for a size double D.
No, but what I do get, not that, but a lot of influencers
wanting free shit.
Oh yeah.
It's so
I nipped that one in the bud a long time ago.
All the time. Like,
I'll work for
hey,
free for
can I
posts.
have surgery?
I'll post you.
Yeah, I'll do a story on you. I'm like,
Yeah.
or I'm shooting this, my journey.
Yeah.
My
You know what's so
journey.
funny is like, because I work now as like the client with brands, and I hire, they want to hire influencers or whatever. I've yet to see any kind of consistency. Like, one brand paid this one influencer $60,000 for a 5-minute YouTube video. Not one, it didn't move anything, nothing. It didn't cross-promote, get them any followers, didn't sell any product. And then they hired someone else who had maybe 30,000 followers or whatever, sold out. So I feel like it's just like Russian roulette. You kind of like spin it and just see if it works,
It's a very strange thing. Like, I just had a patient recently, just a couple weeks ago, who I operated on, and I didn't realize how funny she was until after surgery.
Yeah.
After she posted?
And she's been posting all these videos every day. But no, she posted this video. She posted a video about her video footage of her and her surgery and her before and afters and everything, and she posted it on her TikTok. Yeah, I think it was, and she's gotten like 20,000 views in the span of like 2 weeks. I put the exact same video up, and I think I got like 30 views.
Yeah.
It's the exact same video.
You're like, I reposted. So
it's a roll of the dice.
It is a roll of the dice. I think also the big influencers, people don't want anymore because they have a certain type of person that just follows them. Mm-hmm. So now it's micro influencers, mm-hmm. which can actually are looking to grow into these mega influencers.
Right.
So it's really better to deal with the micro influencers who are building and.
I think they should get rid of all of them.
I agree. I mean, even the terminology is
some of them are talented. But then some of them are just kind of like, redoing the same thing, and it's just the same look, and, it's kind of boring,
So Trey, what are you working on now? Like, tell us.
What am I working on?
You on the horizon.
What am I on the horizon? Shooting a lot, getting ready to travel again, which I'm really excited about.
To Prague.
I'm going to be going to New York, and to Prague, hopefully before it gets too cold. And I launched my own brushes. During the pandemic, I had this idea of launching my makeup brushes, and so I had this idea of a design, and I designed them, and then just during the pandemic, it literally took a year to kind of like, with all the back and forth and the delays, and finally launched it, and I'm really proud of it. I'm really happy with it.
Oh, I want some.
Yeah.
What's unique about your brushes?
I made them slightly longer than traditional brushes because I'm a painter, so I like that feeling of like being a painter, and they're a little bit, the wood that I use is from a certified forest in Asia that's a little heavier, so it gives you some weight, which helps with balance, So like,
So by a little bit longer, they're not like 6 feet long.
They're not like, yeah,
keep
yeah.
your social distance.
I can give you that smoky eye.
The COVID distance.
The COVID brushes.
Yeah.
They're not that long, no. Okay. But there's like a little groove, and they fit into your hand really cool, and
that's cool.
And they're made out of like the newest technology of synthetic fibers, and
it's
really,
like designing your own surgical instruments.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's cool.
And I'm thinking about doing some color. I never really wanted to do color because I love working with my brands that I work with, and getting back to work at the beginning of the pandemic. I wanted to sort of like regroup, and I was looking. I wanted to get rid of so much of my makeup. That foundations and stuff, you don't want to keep that long. So it had been like 2 years that I haven't worked. So I contacted the brands, and usually the brands are very generous with us, but if we have like a big name, like I'm doing J-Lo, so I need some makeup, they'll send you everything. But I had nobody lined up. No A-listers, no clients, nothing. And I put out an email to the brands, they all send me product.
What was the first brand you ever worked with, big brand?
Well, Revlon.
Revlon. Yeah.
Because when I met Farrah and she invited me to do her makeup, I was really young, I had no makeup. So I was like a street kid at the time. And so I borrowed literally a lunch-sized bag of Revlon product from some like drag queen friend of mine or whatever. And I showed up and I did it, and the photographer was a very well-known photographer at the time. It's like, I worked with this kid from Orange County who's brilliant and I want to use him, and I just was in this world literally overnight. And then years later, I got hired by Revlon to design the Oscar bags with their product. And it was a year that was very diverse. I think it was 2005. It was a very diverse lineup of ladies. And so I got to personalize their goodie bag with Revlon products, and did press and talked about these stories of my early years with Revlon. It was really cool.
That's so fun.
So you're primarily working with celebrities doing big projects, but what about like the little people like Elizabeth
I
and
actually
myself?
now I'm working with Cristela Alonso, who just had her comedian just had her Netflix special.
She's funny.
I do a lot of her imagery. We have so much fun with her. Okay,
can I just say something really quick?
Yeah.
I saw a picture of Cristela, and I was like, wow, she looks amazing. And she's always been a pretty girl.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
But she looked like vibrant. Like she looked like she had this thing. I didn't know that's. I'm sure it was your shot.
She came over one time. Actually, we did a photo shoot and we did this. She came over one time and I posted something of Jennifer Lopez, and she goes, I could never wear that makeup, huh? I'm like, sit down. So I ended up doing this. I did this Harper's Bazaar cover with J-Lo where I did this like aqua blue eye and this like wingtip and nude lip, and I did it on her. If I had my phone, I'd show you. But she loved it, and it just it again, not like that. I feel like it's a makeover thing. It was creativity. It was like just showing her and herself in a different way. She's wearing like a rock and roll T-shirt, and her face is like beat. But it's beautiful.
Oh my God!
And we have like the funnest ideas. Her show is called Middle Classy, so we did her in all these almost like Latin characters. Like this rich lit girl, like a chola. It's so fun.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
Really fun.
I'm sure there's a red lip in there somewhere.
Yeah, with the dark
with the dark liner.
Yeah, it's amazing.
No, it's only smoky eye nude lip, smoky eye beige lip. Sorry.
This is something you're never gonna forget that.
I learned something today.
And you're gonna go home to your wife and you're gonna be, honey, can you do the smoky eye with the nude lip?
And the beige lip.
So she's a fun client right now. And then I'm doing, some stuff with Codex, which I'm really excited about. And I'm in the process I'm in production right now of putting together a shoot for Harper's Bazaar, Vietnam, with an actress that I've been working with. Her name is Charlotte Kirk, and she has a few movies coming out. She's a really beautiful Auburn girl. She's, you'll see more of her on my site as I start to build out her imagery. So I'm really excited about that. It's a big shoot. We were talking about this, like putting the looks together and stuff like that. It's been a challenge because it's the beginning of award season, and I'm very sort of like, I get this tunnel vision about what I want, and to hire a stylist, and they're like telling me, you can't get that. It's Emmys, and they're pulling dresses for red carpet. I'm like, I don't like to be told no.
Yeah.
So it's
don't poke the bear.
Yeah. So she's an amazing. My stylist Naz is amazing, and she says I'm pulling these for you, and I'm like, great, I'm very happy.
But you do the
so I'm very
everyday
part of the
woman
process.
too.
Also,
I'm sorry? You do
Only
the everyday.
celebrities.
No, he does the everyday woman, right? Like,
I do.
Like you,
I don't consider you an everyday woman. You're a professional.
Thank you.
I'm expensive, so if you can afford me, great.
Yeah.
So what's it going to set me
Not,
back?
I mean,
to
there's
get
a lot of makeup
smoky
artists
eye
and
a big
yeah,
one?
there's a lot of photographers and a lot of makeup artists who are not that expensive and who are great. With me, it's I charge what I charge, and it's not everyone can afford that. So, it kind of, I'm at a place now where I just, no money, no honey.
Love it. I love it.
Well, it's like, I just saw a post the other day that it's like, you're not just paying me for my 20 minutes, you're paying me for the 20 years it took me to train to figure out how to do it in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, and if you don't charge, I feel like you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
That's,
You do.
But also too is that when I do a job and I'll bring in a crew or team, I pay everyone on my level, and they'll say, "Wow, this is the most I've been paid for in a while," and I'm like, "I know." So those things need to change, and part of the influencer world, who it's like I'll work for posts and stuff, really sort of screwed things up with artists, And when I was in my sort of my heyday as a makeup artist, I mean, I could write my own ticket. Now you're lucky if you can get a few $100s for like a major red carpet event, So, and now the studios and the PR people, they know they can get away with that. If you want to work with a celebrity. So nowadays it's like you use celebrities to make yourself relevant, and then hopefully you get some I guess real. We call them privates, that will pay your fee.
Private clients, right?
Yeah.
Well,
That's
Troy, we have to wrap this up, but before we go, one word to describe yourself.
One word to describe myself. I don't know.
What's the
Old?
first thing that?
Oh my God.
No.
That is.
We're gonna
Old time.
Stop.
stop.
Cut.
Try
Back it
again.
up.
Retake.
Hey, is there one word that you would use?
Artist.
Oh yeah. Artist. Beauty artist, yeah.
Beautification.
Beautifier.
Yeah.
Aesthetically.
You know what I
Passionate.
I don't define myself by what I do. I feel like my life now it's about really sort of feeling what I do.
Right.
Whatever it is, like really taking the time to like just, I get so into the grind of things, and it makes you kind of like nervous and anxiety of like always have to feed it, you have to be on top, you have to do this. And I've learned to kind of like enjoy the moments just doing nothing and just hanging out with my French bulldogs.
Yes, animal lover.
And just
What do you do for fun when you're not working? Like, what's your thing? Mine used to be photography. That's why.
I love my dogs. I never get sick of looking at them. I never get sick of watching them.
He
loves
his dogs.
My little pup. He's a year old. His name's Mads. I named him after my favorite actor, Mads Mikkelsen. I call him my little Viking pup, and he is me in a dog form.
Well, my whole family says I look like my dog.
Yeah.
I'll show you a picture, and you can decide whether his makeup is good or not.
Oh yeah, he's got a smoky eye.
Smoky eye with a nude lip. On that, Troy, thank you so much
Thank you for
coming.
having me. It's really good to meet you.
And
Pleasure.
if
Thanks
you
for coming
can
on.
let our listeners look straight into camera and let our listeners and viewers know where they can find you and all your social media stuff.
I'm Troy Jensen. Follow me on ITSTROYJENSEN on Instagram.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks so
Awesome.
much.
Thank you.
Thank Troy. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to Beyond the OR with Dr. Brenner. Make sure to subscribe, like, and follow so you don't miss any future episodes. In the meantime, hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Kevin Brenner MD and KevinBrennerMD.com.